this joke. Glad I remembered to tell it. I can never remember if it's my long-term or short-term memory that's sportscasters, oh, I know. I had been noticing the last couple of years that Osama Bin Laden is a lot like the Beatles. They have so many different similarities. They both kind of came out of small countries, took the world by storm, did a lot of live performances, and then just issued recordings for years. And everyone's kind of hoping to see him alive again, like another live Osama. But it's not going to happen now. It's kind of like this cross between John Lennon being shot and Paul is dead. I know it's a stretch. I didn't have a lot. We're back here at the NBA Finals, at the playoffs, and I'm Dick Endlessberg along with John On, and our pregame action analyst, Jane Buck. Now, Dick, do you have anything to say?
It's on. Okay. I do have one knock-knock joke, though, but it only works when you guys play along. Nobody wants to play along with knock-knock jokes, but knock-knock.
Who's there?
Big asshole.
Big asshole.
Jeff Jacobs! Jacobs! That's my ballless voice. You hear that every once in a while, like, there's a lead singer of Led Zeppelin, Robert Plant, you know? Push, 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 huh? Lead singer of the Scorpions, you know? Come on! Still loving you, huh? Yeah, yeah. Still loving you, yeah, you know, huh? I got pulled over by a traffic cop last week. I was really pissed off. I pulled over and comes up to the window and I said, "Is there a problem, officer?" And he said, "Honey, honey, 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 honey." They're not all going to work. That's a true story. That's why it's not necessarily funny, because it's a true story. I just relay the story to you. I met a girl, and her name was Vagina! Thank you. In the corner. That's a new one. That's not a true story. Her name is not Vagina. But I did meet a girl once. Her name was Latrina.
Airport security, though, very flattering. They do things my ex-wife wouldn't do. Here's an impersonation of John Wayne as a hypochondriac in Brokeback Mountain as a penguin. Don't kiss me on the lips, you queer! It's flu season! Have you guys been reading the papers recently? Have you seen this Monica Lewinsky character? She reminds me just like my ex-wife. Because my ex-wife also had an affair with a high-up government official. Except she used a cigarette. That's a really good joke. I want to do a conversation. I want to do a conversation right now between Jackie O and John F. Kennedy as they are being chauffeured through Dallas by a grassy knoll on midday in November. and this is their conversation. This is John talking to Jackie O. I don't think your mom likes me. Thank you. Thank you. Don't you hate? Fuck! Fuck! Don't you hate when it's your 5-year anniversary with your ex-wife? And she comes home pissed drunk, talking about how she cheated on you. You start questioning, like, why you even got married in the first place.
To find Osama Bin Laden was because up until recently he has been hiding in a nation, not Pakistan, but Etchesketchistan, a nation well known for earthquakes. Okay, yeah, we're going to be like that. Health issues, I want to mention one more time. You know that men have been dying of breast cancer, 1,400 in the U.S. last year alone. 1,400. Now men are being asked to have mammograms, and men, of course, come up with nicknames for procedures. So you know the mashogram. Or the man boob mashogram, and then of course they have to take it at 2 different angles, and so the second one is called the purple nurple tit twister. You know, remember middle school? Yeah. And Jimmy Morris, if this ever lands up on YouTube, Jimmy Morris, is going to be way funnier now that you're going to be the one having the tit twisted. Yeah. Okay. So. The risk factors for female breast cancer are number 1, a genetic predisposition, and number 2, not having breastfed a baby. Okay, and nuns have a higher risk factor for breast cancer, not theoretically not having breastfed a baby. So the risk factors for men having breast cancer is number 1, a genetic predisposition, and number 2, not having breastfed a baby. And so we're organizing, men are organizing now, and I've come up with an organizational name for our organization. It's Men Offering Breastfeeding to Infants Legally and Ethically. That spells mobile. Yeah, I came up with it myself. Yeah. And then I added Help Our Males Environmentally. It spells mobile home. Yeah. I thought that was brilliant.
I love your attention to detail. Yeah, thanks to the Langdon Street Cafe. I love that there's an open mic in Montpelier. We're going to do this at the Black Door. Bob's going to host it at the Black Door, so next month, second Wednesday. But all praise and glory goes to Langdon Street Cafe. Get loud! That was pretty good. Usually I have to scold people. I don't want to die in a stupid way. I don't want to discover some new idiotic way to die, like the person that accidentally discovered electrocution. Janet liked the bath. And toast. This did not end well. I have trouble sometimes getting from A to Z. Hates alphabet jokes, and I understand. There's shit that I hate, too. Yeah, sometimes I have trouble getting from A to Z. Sometimes I get to T, and then the whole thing falls apart. Sometimes I get to L, and I realize, yeah, this shit's not going to happen. I work in an office, and people lately come running into my office saying, quick question. Quick question. My opinion is, if your question has a name and an introduction, it's already too late. And you obviously can't be trusted. You're a liar. Thank you. Every now and then in a bar you see somebody reading. Don't misunderstand this. These are not bookworms. These are people that get thrown out of the library for drinking. Thank you for showing up, Natalie. I hate how Gmail thinks it knows me. You know, it's like one of those people you work with that sort of hangs around and listens to your conversations with other people and retains facts unnecessarily, and then later comes over to, you know, weaves the facts into a little conversation as if you are friends. You see it like when you're in there, the coffee machine, it's sort of hanging over there listening. It comes up to you later, hey, how's your neck? Did you buy that pillow you were needing on April 13th at 7:35? I can see there's a way to go with that. But that's why open mics are great. In this great nation of ours, we have two state names that are almost identical, but the words are pronounced nothing alike. What are you doing? What are you doing, Katie? Are you like Wayne Grain? Yes, you are. Is there a horse back there that you feed? You go right ahead. I'm going to tell a joke about Arkansas. The grain pouring is thematic. The word Kansas is in the word Arkansas. But we say Arkansas. We don't say Kansas. And we say Kansas. We don't say Kansas. Kansas City, Kansas. Going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. Going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. Yeah, no, that's not the way it is. But the grain was a great addition to the beginning of that joke. I'm going to get over and get a handful of grain in a minute. All right. So I lived up on College Hill a few years ago, and my next door neighbors were these two wonderful little kids, and I have no idea.
I don't really play this. Eventually I'll find the note I'm looking for. No. No. Ah. Oh. Young, evolution had just started. We didn't have sex. We just divided. And echinoderms were really big. Really big. I mean, really gigantic starfish that like pumped up. And then things happened, and you know, woolly mammoths were really great. They were trundling across the plains, and then there were the great furry sloths. And now what do we have? We have elephants and me, a small furry sloth. When I was young, we didn't have breasts, and it was really hard to like run your lips through the fur trying to find a nipple. Spring, a long time coming. And it came too was standing in front of the mirror lamenting my naked body. And it was like, I thought, oh God, look at me. I don't have any hair where I had, and I have hair I don't have, and I'm fat, and I got wrinkles. Oh God, I really need a compliment. My girlfriend said, well, your vision is perfect. Yeah, dogs, you can take dogs anywhere now. And I went to the movies, and there was a guy in front of me. He had an arm around his dog. And the dog really seemed to be enjoying the movie. I mean, he was barking at the chase scenes and growling at the villain, and so he seemed to be wagging his tail at the love scenes. Afterwards, I said, boy, your dog really seemed to enjoy that movie. He said, yeah, but I don't understand that he hated the book.
I fucked that up already. Beautiful. His first name. His last name sounds like Osama's first name. Very much it does. His middle name sounds like the guy who we, went after instead of Osama Bin Laden. And he always wondered growing up why he needed to go to secret Muslim training academies, what the purpose was, and until the war on terror, he did not know his destiny. He did not know that he would be the one to defeat Bin Laden, because they are not so different. They both have abilities. They both can inspire grand numbers of people to do their will. They're very close to each other. And finally, about a week ago today, Obama, not Osama, like every newscaster in the world in the last week, fulfilled his destiny, and we're happy. So we can finally leave, right? We can finally leave now. Yeah. And it's been a good 10 years in these wars in the Middle East. Once you kill Osama Bin Laden and it doesn't change the mission, what changes the mission? When do we get to go exactly?
The universe. And I do floss and wear nice underwear. This has served me well in the past. For instance, I go to the pool every single day of my life, and you'd think I'd have the bathing suit part down. I don't. Get to the pool one day, no suit. Thankfully for all, it was not thong day. At least I was wearing nice underwear. Then there was the night I came out of the bathroom at the Montpelier Community Gospel Choir concert with my choir robe tucked up into my underwear. Now, I walk very slowly. And I walk very slowly past our entire audience. And I walk very slowly past our entire very hot fronting band. And then I walk very slowly past my two best friends in life, at least they were. But at least I was wearing nice underwear. Now, my father's worst fear in life, I think, is that I'm going to become my recently deceased Aunt Nancy Dana McPhail, who was a Dallas socialite and a seriously self-deluded sadist, who also thought her shit did not stink. Well, guess what? Neither does mine. But this also happened. I was driving to the pool the other day, and all of a sudden, coming at me in my lane, I see this little car, and out of my mouth I hear, "Bunch of maniacs out there, I'm gonna get killed." And then in nanoseconds of horror, as I'm watching my death approach, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to get killed. I'm going to be in this accident, and I'm going to be stuck talking like this for the rest of my life. But at least I'm wearing nice underwear. Well, I've had an epiphany lately, actually. Banjo Bob is here, so I don't have to describe him, but I often do have to describe him. He comes up. And how I describe Bob is a good-looking fellow about my age, tall, good-looking fellow about my age, whose style I like to call post-apocalyptic Ozo the Clown. Well, I was donning a particularly sassy new pair of cargo pants the other day, and I looked in the mirror and I thought, oh my God, Banjo Bob is my fashion muse. So I tell Banjo Bob this, and he says, real Beth, you're not the first woman to tell me this. Well, people often come up to me and say, Beth, you look very nice. And I usually say, thank you, you do too. But it's occurred to me that these compliments are often thinly veiled pleas for the secrets to the magic. So I tell them, shop at the Richmond thrift store and wear nice underwear. Now, as I said, this has served me well. I go to the pool just about every day of my life, and my morning routine consists of Russian floss, towel, and bathing suit, and carefully selected underwear du jour. This one day I get to the pool, no underwear. So, get out of the pool, don my sassy new pair of cargo pants, commando. Which is when I realized the true secret to the magic, which of course Banjo Bob already knew. So now when people compliment me, I say, do as Banjo Bob does. And if you're wondering how I know how Banjo Bob does, suffice it to say, Banjo Bob needs doors. I've been in the market for a couple of new best friends lately, because the current ones are seriously falling down on the job. The choir robe incident. Then there was the Montpelier 3rd of July fashion travesty. We were perched over by the courthouse watching the 3rd of July parade, as we customarily do, and I noticed that soon-to-be ex-best friend number 2 was wearing, completely obliviously slung over her shoulder, a Vera Bradley Paisley quilted handbag. I immediately informed her that it had to visit a dumpster or she could sit across the street.
Talk to them, like they don't understand you. You see them, they're just rolling around in the hay, with their food in a bag, they crap everywhere whenever they want. And I'm just talking about the jockeys. I mean, that's like, I don't even start on the actual horses. But no, I think part of what I hate about horse racing are the stupid names they give to the horses. Because they are, like, they're dumb, but it's like they're all supposed to have these sort of like, these regal sort of like, kind of almost like artistic sounding names. And a lot of the majesty sort of dies when the names get reiterated by fat guys in Tommy Bahama shirts at the breakfast buffet at the track. Like, who do you like in the 3rd race? Angel Fire? Yeah, you like that? How about Gentleman Collar? You think you can run in the mud? You know who I got in the trifecta here? Butterfly Kisses. Yeah, no. I need some more coffee over here. That's my old man at the track voice. I know I haven't done that since January of 2009. Can you believe it? Crazy. You'll never go to a horse race and like listening to the announcer and hear this like, and down the stretch they come, coming up on the outside, the underdog, the long shot. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen, Steve, taking over the field, running away from the all the beauty, the majesty, the poetry of Steve. That's the line, Steve. Way to go, Steve. Documentary champion, Steve. No, you won't.
Take in the information quietly. Don't say any of those things. That's what I'm going for right there. So I've got a series of disappointing half jokes from here on out. So, the feeling you just had, because you probably won't have that again. I've got something here. I have a friend who does yoga, and we often meet to talk about business right after she gets out of yoga. And I feel like there's this thing where you come out of yoga and you're kind of, well, you're like wasted on this sort of relaxation. Have you ever been around somebody who's in this situation? Yeah. Well, I wish I had more there. I know, right? So that's a thing. I feel like there should be a name for it when you are drunk on the relaxation. What? Boy, that's clever. How long did that take you to come up with? Not everything can be high. I thought of one. It's probably not as funny as high. Yoga annihilated. Because it's adorable. She's just like, wait, no. Like, oh, this is terrible. All right, move on. You know anything that was funny? Yoga annihilated? Oh. It's everything I hoped it would be. So, you know how, I don't know if anyone else read, you walk by like some sort of, I'm comfortable with this. You walk by like some sort of like Korean restaurant, and you, I know, and you wonder, I know, can I stop this? No, so, and you wonder like about the whole massage parlor world, right? And you wonder if it's connected to that restaurant and if there's like a whole other thing happening you don't know about. I won't throw one in that. Anyway, and then the other day I walked by a new restaurant in Burlington, and the name of the restaurant is the HJ House. I just thought, at least keep it a secret, guys. Don't name that your restaurant. So that's bad. So, oh, you explained, and then your reaction was, oh, God. I'm sorry. It's even more surreal was when people started heckling me, and I look over, and Beth is screaming, asshole! Just like, how do you process that? Good to have you as a fan. So the last thing I wanted to tell you was, I was watching this movie, Casino Royale, the James Bond movie. Yeah? Familiar with James Bond? Yeah. Okay, it got so quiet. I was like, so he's the spy. Yeah. And, okay. All right, I'll move on. And, there's this character in the movie called Le Chiffre, and he's an evil bad dude. And you know he's evil because he's pale, and he's got a scar on his eye, and he, like, weeps blood. Very sinister guy. On top of that, he has an even more evil and horrible quality.
Glad you went with me there. I wasn't sure. So it's been established that there aren't any sports fans in the audience, so I won't ask that rhetorical question. But maybe, I don't know. I want the sports fans to tell me what it is about the sports fan. What is the we in the sports fan? It's always about the we did this, and we need this guy, and we should have traded this guy for that. I mean, what is your critical contribution to the Boston Red Sox anyway? Did you just pick up the classifieds one day and go, oh, perpetually disappointing New England baseball team seeks rabid fan to talk about the team in the first person plural? Duties include becoming irrationally invested and offering uninformed, unsolicited advice on the strategic direction of the team. Compensation negligible. So that's that. It is always fun. I like that.
He says, can you give me a warning? He looked at me, he says, are you in the military on active duty? I'll ask you, do I look like I'm in the military on active duty? Then I stopped at the store to pick up some zigzag papers. And the clerk says, what's your date of birth? What do you want to know my date of birth for? She says, you got to be 18 to buy tobacco products. I says, I'm not going to use it for tobacco. She wouldn't let it, I mean, you got to be 18. I said, I was born in 93. Can I have the thing? She says, okay, good to go. Then I went to see my doctor. I see this doctor once or twice a year anyway. And she's got the same nurse. And you go in for the nurse to do the blood pressure. She says, Mule, how long you been growing the beard? I says, 35 years. You know, like 6 months ago? Yeah, 6 months. Right. So, it's that mega movie, I brought out some weirdos. The roads suck. We know where we are on the interstate, though. By every 0.2 of a mile. But I think what they should do, instead of putting up all the signs for the bumps and the frosties and the bad road and washouts, if they should just put signs up at the Vermont borders. Welcome to Vermont, the roads suck. And what's the big deal about leaving a toilet seat up? Yeah. I leave the toilet seat up so when the dogs get a drink of water, they don't dribble all over the seat. Because be it yellow or not, if there's dribble all over the seat, I get accused for not lifting this toilet seat up when I take a leak. I get blamed for it. So I leave the seat up for the dogs.
So, on a completely different note, there have been some crazy women around here recently. Like, I know that sometimes, there are crazy women, but these few have really stepped up their game in the crazy department. Let's start with the woman who stabbed a guy in the neck with a chopstick. How do you even do that? I mean, was she sitting at the dinner table with a chopstick and a knife underneath it, whittling out some multicultural shiv? And if she was doing that, why didn't she just use the knife to stab him instead of the chopstick? And how do you even think of that? Like, let's see, I've got to get a gallon of milk today, and I've got to go to the gym. Oh, and I've got to stab a guy in the neck with a homemade chopstick shiv. And then there was the woman who ran down her boyfriend in a van, which the only luck he had was that he wasn't stabbed. Although that would be great if that was her defense. Your Honor, my client may have run down her lover in a 2-ton vehicle. But hey, at least she didn't stab him. Which brings me to Exhibit C, which is the woman who stabbed another woman during a fight over a man. And the best part here is the actual legal defense is that it was self-defense. Even though she admitted to literally stabbing the woman in the back. Or as the newspaper put it, neck, back, and buttocks. Now, how do you defend against that? It was awful. She was running right towards me. Well, maybe not right towards me. Maybe she was kind of possibly, potentially running away from me. But still, she was running. Well, until I stabbed her. Then she stopped running. But up until then, she was running. And I ask you, if she didn't have anything to hide, what was she running from? I mean, other than me and the knife. We've already been over that.